Hey YouTube, it's update time on our weight loss journey. So this week I lost almost a percentage of body fat according to the biomass. I got bug spray on, but they still want to land on me. And I got my hair cut, probably lost a couple pounds there. Not quite literally, but I lost some hair. I weighed in at 276. So from last week to this week, I've lost at least 4 pounds, maybe more like 6. I rode, right now, counting the 5 miles I just rode, I rode 73 miles. So and I'll end up with 82 or 83 miles for the week. So I've been averaging that between 76 and 80 miles a week. Diet is, I don't really have a diet. Glasses are fogging up. I eat what I want, but I eat in moderation. I usually don't eat during the daytime. I only eat when I'm hungry. There is no more boredom eating, and my calorie intake is a direct result of how hard I rode my bike for the day. If I went for my bike rides range from 11.3 miles to 23 miles, just depends. I try to keep the distance different, and as I said in the last video, I vary the intensity of the workout based on what my goal for the day is. Today it's been just an average ride, I would say. I completed 5.69 miles in 24 minutes, which is typical for this ride. If I turn around and ride home, I'll make it home in 48 minutes. Actually, it's a little faster on the way home to a point where I get on a hill and then I kind of slow down a little bit. We have a little bit of a hill going up to our house. But 48 minutes for 11 miles. So I average 13.7 or 8 miles, and sometimes it's 14, sometimes it's 15. The splits are not all the same. They vary, depends on the terrain. So I'm headed down that road of getting below, getting down to where I want to. I'd like to finish the year around 240. Once I stop riding the bike for the winter, it's unrealistic to think I'm going to lose 5 or 6 pounds a week. But I am looking at buying a rowing machine to get a full body workout. I'm not so sure how that will work, but maybe if I put straps on my hands, I'll be able to hold to the handles better. Because I have a problem with my grip gradually loosening and me not realizing it because of cervical reductive mouthful. Anyway, with cervical problems in my neck cause my hands to be a little wonky at most of the time. But I'm thinking, I used to love rowing. You know, they're kind of expensive machines, especially the ones where they challenge you, but I'm thinking I would like to get a rowing machine, something that folds up that I can lean against the wall and get it out of the way, and maybe I could even get Karen to use it. That's what I'm thinking. Not a cheap one, but not over the hill expensive either. So ride's going good. I wanted to do a video yesterday. I had a subscriber bring a bike to his electric 3.0 that he was having some creaking issues with, and even though he followed the channel and did some of what we figured out what it was in the pivot, for the folding mechanism. It had some paint that had rubbed off, and there was just aluminum rubbing to aluminum. And my typical, if they fold their bikes, I usually just take some Gorilla Tape and put it on, clean the area really good, clear Gorilla Tape, and just can't be too thick, because if you get too thick, then it's going to keep the battery from making good contact. But Gorilla Tape, put it on both sides, and the noise went away. He wanted to ride my first generation electric to see if there was a difference, and he said, oh my God. He said it was night and day. He said his starts out more gradual. He says yours feels like somebody just went to full power right away. And I said, yeah, it could be daunting, even with it on the lowest setting for pickup. How it accelerates is still fast. It's faster than Karen's bike on PAS3, and I never ride it above PAS2 for the most part, unless I'm trying to keep up with her. Then I'll turn on PAS3. We have battery fade, quite a bit of difference in battery fade for my bike to hers. With 2 batteries, hers doesn't fade like mine does. It's only after her second ride that you really start to notice the second ride on that charge, before you really start noticing a difference. But her average ride, she doesn't know the difference. She ain't out today. It is that time of the year where her allergies start bothering her, and sinus drainage and stuff, and it makes her sick. So she's at home. She won't even ride her stationary bike when she's feeling this way. I think the allergy medicines the doctor have on me are better than what she has, but yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, so he got on my bike, and I told him, I said, go out to the main road and twist the throttle all the way and tell me whether or not it goes faster than yours. I said, don't pedal, just twist the throttle. He got it up to 28 miles an hour. He said he's a lot lighter than I am too. I'm probably 100 pounds lighter than I am. And he said, he goes, why did electric change that? And I go, I think they were burning out controllers is the main problem. Was people were going out and trying to do that every ride, and they'd burn out the controllers after a while. And I said, yeah, I don't hardly ever use the throttle, so I don't put that much of a load on the controller. I mean, it will show 20 amps occasionally, but it doesn't. And it's actually supposed to be rated at 18 amps. Everybody points out to me. I said, well, maybe your bike is rated at 18 amps, and that's the most you can get. But this one is rated at 20 amps. And even with, if I put an amp clamp on my multimeter and put it on the motor wire, it will show 20 amps of draw. So it is a 20 amp controller, and I think they did change the controllers, and they limited the speed, hard limited the speed to 20 miles an hour unless you're pedaling, because of the controller issues. Mine's an original controller, haven't had any problems with it. I haven't had any problems with the electronics on the bike, other than I got the display wet one time and had to dry it out. And the reason it got wet is I left the handlebars folded in the back of the truck on a way home from a camping trip, and it rained onto the bottom of the display, and it got in. But now, after that, I knew that I needed to leave the handlebars up when I loaded into the truck. But mosquitoes finally left me alone. Huh. Takes them a while, I guess, to figure out I'm not good to eat. So, that being said, he was impressed. He said he didn't think that they had made that much of a difference. I think there's a deer out in the woods walking around. I hear something walking around, light step in the back there. Don't see it. I probably have to stand up. So the weight loss journey is going well. Like I said, body mass I've lost. It says according to the biosensor on it, it says I've lost a little muscle, but that really depends on if I did it at the same time. So it says my heart rate's down to 83. Average heart rate for me in resting is in the 50s. So it takes a long time for my heart to recover down to normal after exercising. But usually by the time I go to bed, it's down there. And I never finished the diet. I don't eat restaurant food very often, only once in a blue moon, maybe once or twice a month. We cook our own meals usually, and it's usually not frozen food either. It's usually home prepared food. And I stay away from sugary drinks completely and artificially sugary drinks. That artificial sweetener, no matter what everybody says, they may say it's safe. I don't believe it is. I think that's just as much reason people end up with diabetes as using that artificial sweetener. Your body doesn't even know how to handle it. Nutritionists at the VA told me to use it instead of sugar, and I said, well, I don't like the taste. We all have different taste buds. I'm really sensitive to anything that has an aftertaste, a bitter or otherwise aftertaste, so I can't stand this stuff. I would rather just not drink pop than drink diet pop. It's just the way it is. I'd rather have a glass of water with some ice in it. And I don't even put lemon or anything in it, just straight water from the tap. Bottled water. There's an interesting story about bottled water. When we had the first Gulf War, the companies were struggling to sell bottled water to the public. It was a niche thing. People drank it once in a while, but it wasn't an ad thing. But you get all these soldiers out in the desert, and there was no water sources in most of the places they were, so they were shipping in bottled waters. We used to get them in great big, like 1 liter jugs, 2 liter bottles, and that's how we got our water in the desert. And then all those soldiers went home, and they didn't want to drink tap water anymore. They wanted bottled water. It was convenient. You can take it with you. You're not carrying a glass. So that's how this bottled water craze started. Now, eventually we will get away from that. People will realize it's plastic that's ending up in our bodies, the ocean, wherever. Oh, it's just not good. All that microplastic. Karen used to be a Tupperware dealer, and she just found out they just did a study that said that when you use plasticware in your microwave, it puts micro pieces of plastic into the air and throughout your whole house. And they're saying that that's where probably most of the human consumption comes. So if your food comes in plastic, no matter what they say type of plastic it is, you're still going to end up with micro pieces of plastic in you. You're either going to breathe it or eat it. And she used to sell Tupperware, and they explained that that's why Tupperware bubbles after a while. It starts peeling. It's because every time you microwave it, even if it's microwavable, it starts losing those micro pieces of plastic out of it, and it's all through the surface of the plastic, and it dries the plastic out, and pretty soon it delaminates. And then you're eating real plastic because there's no way to avoid it. You should just throw the the piece of plastic away afterwards. And anymore with Tupperware, that's what you're getting. Lifetime warranty's long gone. You think you buy Tupperware for its warranty. You don't buy Tupperware for the warranty anymore because they give you a percentage off. It's prorated lifetime warranty. If it's more than a year old, you probably ain't going to get but maybe a quarter of the value of the item. Yeah, they'll replace it, but it's not easy like it used to be. It's kind of why I told Karen it was time to quit selling my Tupperwares, because it was costing us money because people didn't want to hear that they had to turn the item in and wait until they got a new one. And she ended up giving a lot of stuff away, but not enough because we still have probably $20,000 worth of Tupperware inventory in our basement. Well, I should get going. It's earlier in the day than I normally ride, and people are starting to come down the trail. So, like, subscribe, do what you do. See you later.